Bluff City NIL is an official partner of Coaching for Literacy, a nonprofit organization using the power of sports to impact childhood literacy. You can read more about them at coachingforliteracy.org or follow them on social media at Coaching for Literacy. Your donations to Bluff City NIL are 100% tax deductible because of our partnership together. So thank you for supporting Memphis Tiger student athletes and helping promote the monumental cause of childhood literacy.
Welcome to Tigers Untapped, a Bluff City Media podcast. Stepping up to the microphone are your hosts, TJ Willis and Trey Lasley. Pull up your chair, grab your favorite brew, and enjoy the conversation. Now, let's get to the show.
TJ, what up, my dog?
What up, man? How are you?
Feels like, what a big weekend it was, though. Feels like Christmas a little bit. You know what I mean? And
It's definitely been a big week.
It's the most wonderful time of the year. Kids transfer portaling, coaches saying you'll fit in great here. It's the most wonderful. Is it really the most wonderful time of year, though? I kind of
I was going to ask.
hate the transfer portal, but I kind of love it too. It's been a lot of fun the last 3 days.
I would say two things. Did you just make that song up on the spot, or have you been practicing that?
No, that was what we just did it right now.
Wow. I don't know. That's a good question. If I really like the transfer portal time because it's fun, but also it's stressful because you're going to lose somebody, and then you have to play who's going to start for the next 17 months.
And
it just feels like
you're rebuilding a team every year. It feels like, what? There was a time back in the day, the Laurinburg Prep dudes.
Yeah,
you made an Elite Eight their first year, and you knew you were building upon that. Now it's like you make a little bit of run, you feel good about your team, and then total rebuild. But it is fun. It's a lot of fun to see who we're bringing in, the commitments.
That is fun.
It gets exciting.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
All right, first let's talk about this from the friends down at Wiseacre, the Biscuits of the Moon.
Yeah, I'm a little confused by that. I don't know what moon biscuits means, but
I typed it in earlier, and literally biscuits, the shape of crescent moons, popped up.
I don't know. I did notice one thing, but I'll save it for later when we do the can review.
Amber Ale from the friends down at Wiseacre.
Yeah.
I think these did a little bit of reading beforehand. Amber Ales were big in the 90s, so it's a throwback from the folks down at Wiseacre many moons ago, as they say, which I think is a play on moon biscuits there.
Perhaps. Who's to say?
Got a little bit of a honey malt in there.
Too early. You got to wait. Wait to the end.
Yeah. No, it's good, though.
All right, Trey, you said it was a big week. What does that mean for us?
Well, we talked about it last week. We had several visits lined up. There was a little bit of a shakeup there. We had Quez Glover cancel. So it looks like he might be, a lean towards the hometown Knoxvillians over there, the Vols. But wasted no time in filling that vacancy of a portal visit with none other than this. And this kid blew up. It was a week ago today. D2, Nova Southeastern, guard forward, call him a point forward, Jonathan Pierre came into town. TJ, I know you saw the tweet because you quoted it, but there was a tweet that listed out the amount of schools that had contacted old Pierre. I didn't know you could put that many characters in a tweet. I mean, it was like over 100 schools that reached out. You name a D1 school and they reached out to old J. Pierre.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you just look at the guy, we're talking size alone. I've seen him anywhere from 6'9" to 6'10". We'll just say he's 6'9", almost 200 pounds, very physically gifted. He can shoot the tray. Are you kidding me?
He can knock the tray ball down for sure. He's got range. You throw up 163s in a season and you shoot 41%. I'd say that's pretty good. You know what's
Pretty good.
There's probably rarely people shoot that many and are better, but he had a teammate that shot as many threes exactly and shot, what was it, 52% from three on 160 attempts. Will Yoakum. I wish he had some eligibility left, because I'd say, Jonathan, bring your buddy Will with you.
It's a little unheard of. I'm not gonna lie. You guys said go look at the championship game, and I was like, okay, sure. I went and looked at the box score, and staggering numbers.
Yeah, I mean, what was the final, 111 and 101 or something? Just
and
everybody put up 20. Except, are you concerned about this at all? Friend of ours, Jonathan. Your boy Jonathan Pierre, our friend Jonathan, texted me about this. Pierre only scored 4 points in a game where his team put up 111.
No, I don't think I am.
Yeah, I didn't watch the game, so I don't know. But it does make you wonder what happened. I mean, he only played 20 minutes, maybe got in a little foul trouble. I don't know. But you'd expect out of a guy that was averaging 15 on the year, 15 and 5 on the year, I think.
Yeah.
Started the last 20-something games, 19 games of the year. I don't know. You'd expect more than 4 points out of him. But, hey, I guess everybody has an off night every now and then.
Yeah, I think my question with him is, how do you utilize him? Like, at 6'9", we've talked about it. He's 6'9". Is he a 3? Is he a 4? Can he play a really big 2? I mean, like
can he bring the ball to the floor? Yes.
Yeah, when I watch him, I think that he can play any position on the court, honestly.
I mean, he said it himself. Like, part of the allure of coming here was to play for Penny, who himself was sort of that big guard, 6'7", point forward-esque. Like, he wants to come and learn from Penny every day. He was on the radio today, did an interview on the Dilb and Dilb show on 92.9. I don't know if you got a chance to listen to it. It wasn't much of an interview, because I tell you what, Jonathan is a heck of a storyteller. I asked him one question, and my man talked for 15 minutes straight with no other question being needed to be asked. He just straight up told the whole journey. It's a heck of a journey. Wasn't really recruited out of high school. I think as a senior, what did he say? He was 6'2" going into his senior year. That was in the height of COVID when he's in high school. So recruiting was weird. You weren't really getting in-person recruiting, that kind of thing. As a 6'2" kid down in Florida, like, you can understand maybe getting overlooked. And then I want to say he said it was during the season before they played in one of their tournaments, and he grew 5-6 inches in the span of 4 weeks. All of a sudden you look up and you're 6'7". You ever have a growth spurt like that, Tej?
No.
No? No. You just always been right there. What are you, 5'10"?
5'11", but yeah.
5'11".
I'm above the nation's average.
I had about that. It wasn't that quick, but I was probably 5'8" or 5'9" coming out of middle school. In the summer between 8th grade and 9th grade, I went from 5'8" or 5'9" to 6'2" or 6'3" over the summer.
I was the opposite. From like 6th grade on, I have pretty much been the same size. I was just this huge frame that I just grew into.
Yeah, haven't grown another inch. Yeah, I weighed the same that I weighed when I was 5'8". I just grew like 5 or 6 inches. It was wild. And he talked about it on the radio today. He's grown, so he got to 6'7" by the end of his senior year of high school. Went to Nova, grew 2 more inches that next year. He's 6'9" right now. He talked about. You ever heard of Osgood Slaughters?
Yeah, dude, in the knee.
Pardon my French, but it is painful to have those growth spurts. I still have the knot on my right knee from my Osgood Slaughter. I don't really know what it is. It has to do with growing, but.
Have you ever heard of Nova Southeastern University?
No. And I'll tell you what, I just assumed that it was up near like Philly.
No.
Until I saw they were the Sharks, and I was like, well, there's not Sharks up there. And then I looked up where they were. So
where are they?
No, I had
still
not.
Don't know. Are they Florida?
Yeah.
Okay. Based off, I'm looking at their schedule, and I can see Palm Beach, Florida Tech, Tampa, just Florida team. I can only imagine they're in Florida. I've never heard of
Yeah,
this.
they play down there in like I forget what their conference is called, but the Southern something.
This is one of those generic teams that you stumble upon in like video games, like an NBA 2K or like NCAA football, like Southeastern team kind of thing. That's what this is.
Yeah. The FCS Southeast, the Sharks. Yeah, they are in the Sunshine State Conference.
Okay.
Their mascot's name is Razor. Razor the Shark. But national champs this year went undefeated. I think it was only like the sixth time in D2 history that a team's gone undefeated and won the national championship. Impressive stuff. He's lost one game in his collegiate career. I think he's like 67-1 or something like that. The kid's a winner. He knows how to win. He's coming from a winning program. That's all you can ask for.
Yeah. I'm going to be honest. I have a little bit of reserve with this kid, and I don't think he's going to be terrible.
Where are you going with this? Because he's D2?
Hear me out. Yes, it is because he's D2. I don't know what to expect. I don't know anything about Nova Southeastern. I don't know anything about the Sunshine, whatever it was called. I just don't know what to expect. Like if you look at stats alone, he looks great. Right?
Yeah.
Everyone who heard him talk, he sounds intelligent. He has all the charisma you want in a guy.
He's a great
I just don't know how. Yeah, I don't know how it's going to translate to the court. I have no clue, but I'm going to keep an open mind because the statistics tell me that this guy could be special. All the offers tell me this guy could be special.
I agree with you. I can see some hesitation there. I think his ceiling is very high. He has the potential to be very, very good. I think he can be very good. But I agree with you. Coming from D2 now, I think there's probably a lot of players that can play at the Division I level that are playing D2, given what we've already talked about with COVID,
Sure.
recruiting. Now that you got the transfer portal, a lot of kids that may have gone to D1 programs before have to settle for D2 or whatnot, right? Like, so I think there's plenty of players at that level that can come up and will be able to contribute right away. But looking at the title game, you talk about 111 points. He only scored 4. I mean, he wasn't really, honestly, the best player on that team. I mean, they had 2 All-Americans and Will Yoakum, and then I forget the other kid's name. But, yeah, he averaged 14 and 5. He didn't even start the whole year. I don't think he played a tremendous amount as a freshman. So I could see where there's some reservation there and not maybe expecting him to come in and, like, immediately be a world beater, right? Like, it may take a little bit of time.
Sure. I think get him on campus, put him on the practice court with everybody else. You'll know instantly if he fits in or not.
Oh, absolutely. But it's also like, how many times have we had somebody coming in where we heard about like this dude can shoot and then he gets here and it's like, it's just a different level. It's a lot faster, a lot more physical. I mean, he said it himself today on the radio. Like, he's ready to come in. He's going to have to get in the weight room, pull a little weight on. He's talked about with those growth spurts, he still had to kind of work at his lateral movement defensively. Like, basically said he had to learn how to do a lot of stuff over when he grew that much. But he seems to handle the ball well. Passes great. He makes some very high level passes and can shoot the rock. I mean, he's got range. I mean, he was 5-6 feet in some of those from behind the 3, just knocked down. So he's very capable. I think he's got the tool set to, like I said, to be a very, very good piece for the Tigers. It's just, how does that all come together over the next calendar year?
Yeah. It's interesting that he was showing up on some people, like in articles and things like that, for NBA interest, like a potential draft pick this year. And
like right now,
just landed it.
Know that. I mean, I knew
Some
every
people
D1
it's not
program is after
consistent.
him.
Yeah, it's definitely not consistent. So
Yeah, it's also
interesting
tough,
nonetheless.
right? Because coming D2, not a lot of these publications like include him in their rankings, right? So like you talk about 247, he's not listed. I don't think Rivals has him listed. On3 has him listed, and they have him as 22nd overall. So it's kind of tough to gauge by those rankings, right? But if you just look at the list of teams, I mean, he mentioned it, like Duke was calling him, Baylor, Alabama. I think he said himself it was coming down with him between Memphis, Baylor, Alabama, and LSU, I want to say. And then College of Charleston was the last one that he threw in, which I'm like, one of these is not like the others. But I don't know if you want to live, if you're from Florida, you want to change a beach scenery. Maybe that's for you. I don't know. But the kid was drawing interest from like every high level D1 program. So obviously people see things in him that they like on the basketball court. And I mean, I do too. I mean, like I said, coming to play for Penny, he's got the skills. He was a guard his whole life. Sure, he's had growth spurts, had to learn to do some things over. But if you just watch some YouTube footage, if you watch the YouTube footage of him, I think I sent it to you earlier. I tweeted it when he was 8 years old. Kid works his tail. Got me real excited. There's a YouTube video of him then when he was 8 out there. That's great. In that interview too, though, another part that I loved was, and I mean, I think this is coming from Penny for anybody that's joining. At least I hope that this is kind of his, his telling to them is, I mean, Jonathan said he's not coming in and expecting anything, not expecting to be a starter. And he was like, I don't even expect to be handed a 6-man position. Like, I don't, the only thing that I want is the opportunity to come in and compete. Right. And that's all you can. He was like, I will do anything. I'm not coming in with the expectation that I'm going to take this many threes or that, I'm going to be bringing the ball up the floor. All that. He's like, do I want to do that? I think that I'm capable. Yes. But if my team needs me to go out and grab 10 boards and that's my primary focus, that's what I'm going to do if it helps us win. Which is what I feel like this day and age, there's not enough of those guys.
Sure.
When you get back to it, basketball is a team sport. Mm-hmm. It's not all about getting yours. It's about winning the game and doing whatever it takes. So, like, yeah, if he comes in, defined role, and accepts it, I'm all for it, whatever that may be. And it sounds like he is too.
Hey, I'm all for it. I am very excited to see what it's like. Again, I have some concerns just because of the level of talent these played with. I mean, it's a hard thing, right? How many NBA players came from D2? I can name one off the top of my head. That's not really saying much, but like maybe this guy could be something special,
Hey, I mean, I know that's probably his dream.
The list of offers, I think more than anything, even more than the tape tells me that
shows what could be capable
exactly.
of.
Exactly. The ceiling, to your point, is limitless.
Is there? I mean, the other thing, dude, that gets me excited is he said it himself. Like, he's comfortable guarding the 1 through 4 and switching.
Yeah, I believe that.
And the style that they played down there, he said they were pressing full court basically the whole game. Like, we don't necessarily do that the entire game, but that gives me confidence in his ability to switch. I mean, we like to switch.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm all for getting back to that elite level defense. Not that, whatever we ended up this year, I think we were like 30 something defensively, but it's a lot of fun when you're like a top 3 level defense.
Yeah.
38th is what we ended up this year. But I think he's a guy with length. I mean, the whole team, to be honest, we'll get to the others in a minute, but I think you're really getting back to that defensive elite level. Maybe impossible to score on at times.
All right.
Jonathan was the first. Let's go in ranking order. So Jonathan was the highest ranked so far at 22nd on On3, which, by the way, On3's got him as a 4-star commit, I think, as a transfer at 22nd. Not too far behind him is 6'7" junior. Well, he'll be a junior from MTSU.
Yep.
Our boy Theophile Leonard. They have him at 31st on On3, which is also a 4-star. He's 51st at Evan Maya, if you guys are familiar with the PhD statistician and his website, which actually makes him a 5-star by Evan Maya standards. But a huge get. I mean, this is one we talked about last week. Excited about him coming in. I think did he visit? It was Thursday or Friday. I can't remember, but I was getting, honestly, a little bit worried when you didn't get the immediate commitment. I think he dropped a top 3 of, was it A&M, us, and the MBL? Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
And ultimately earlier today, committed to Penny and the Tigers. But again, you talk about getting back to elite level defense. Like, his upside is defensively. Like, yeah, he can score. He's not the best shooter in the world. He's not going to probably come out and score 25 in any given night, but he's an athletic freak and he's a tenacious defender. I mean, I think it averaged last year almost 2 and 2 for blocks and steals defensively, which is pretty wild. I mean, you get guys that will average 2 or more blocks or 2 or more steals, but to do both is pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm standing firm, dude. He reminds me so much of DJ. Just maybe, senior year DJ just was able to hit the 3 consistently, more consistently than he has shown.
I see the DJ comparison as far as athleticism, dude. Watching him, he's going to dunk on people all year.
Yes,
the kid can jump out of the freaking gym. I'm talking putbacks, lobs, drive the lane, and just yam on your head. From that aspect, DJ 100%. But I think he is
a much better defender
above DJ as far as defensive. DJ could get up there and block shots with the best of them. Mm-hmm. But I think on ball and just defensively spacing on the floor, communicate, like, Leonard's much better defender.
Yeah, I mean, with him, I think you and I are both extremely high on Lenard. He's another guy that I'm curious what they do with him. Where do they play him? Do you play him at the 3 and just cover the whole floor and hand to hand? Everybody's just so long they can just cover the whole floor. I mean, I'd feel confident in saying he could probably guard 1 through 4, just like Pierre could.
Right, which I think is what, I mean, Coach Hardaway's looking for. We switch so often. Last year when you've got somebody like Kendrick, love him to death, incredible offensive player, but as his size, it's tough for him when he gets switched, right? Like when you're switching 1 through 4, whatever, if he gets switched on even sometimes a 2 or a 3, like
a 3,
it's a huge size advantage for the offensive player. But when you got guys out here, I mean, we'll talk about it in a minute, but we could throw lineups where the shortest dude on the floor is 6'5", which is wild. The length is just incredible. But no, super. Can we call him T? You go by T. Teafale, if you're listening, if you go by T, let us know. We'll call you T. No, I am very, very excited about what he's going to bring. I think he's capable offensively. I think he will give. I mean, he averaged like 8.5. Yeah, 8.5 and 4 boards last year, shooting 50% basically from the field. Not the best 3-point shooter, but that's not to say, like, he will knock down a 3. I mean, he made 20. He doesn't take a ton, but he made 23s last year, I think. I mean, he shot 23%, but he can make 3s. He's capable. He shot 34% in his freshman year, I think. Again, not on a ton of attempts. I want to say it was like 50-ish, but he's capable. But I really think where he's going to get a majority of his offensive production is, lobs, transition. The dude runs the floor.
It's transition, great. Yeah.
He is. I was watching something earlier. He's 75th percentile in points per possession when it's a transition. He runs the floor great and is there for lobs all over the place. So
yeah, I said that
very excited about what he's going to bring.
I was saying that the last time. I think this dude is going to eat during transition. Like, he's maybe not a guy you're going to set up a play. You know, you're not trying to set up a play directly for him. Maybe he'll cut to the basket kind of situation. But
yeah,
more times than not, he's going to do his damage on transition. You know, playing stellar defense, getting the break, quick pass, transition, slam. I'm telling you, it makes so much sense for him to come to Memphis. I feel like he's going to thrive in transition.
Yeah. And too, the other thing that I noticed is like a lot of times in transition, it's the guy that makes the defensive play that's getting down the floor, like the steal, the actual stealer of the pass, or the guy that deflects the pass. Yes, he does that, but there were numerous times where he could have been the last guy back, and he's down the floor catching a lob, finishing it off. Like, runs the floor great. Absolutely. I'm very excited about what he's going to bring from a transition offense standpoint.
Yeah. All for it, man.
So that's 2 down. And then the third of 4, we had 4 visits this week and got 3 commits out of it, batting .750 on the weekend is Coach Hardaway. The last, and certainly not least for this weekend, by on-3 standards, he's 85th. So this will be your third, which I would say is impressive, your third top 100 transfer. When you talk about, I don't know, what are there, 1,500 kids in the transfer portal? And you can land 3 top 100s. I'd say it's a pretty daggum good transfer recruiting cycle there. But none other than Tiger fans should be fairly familiar with him, Caleb Mills. Former Houston guard, played a year at Houston, was all conference type of guy as a fresh. He was a redshirt freshman, but he was I think freshman of the year. No, Precious was freshman of the year. That was Precious' year, but he was an all conference kind of guy. Was coming back as a redshirt sophomore and was preseason player of the year pick for the American. Ended up getting hurt. That's when he transferred out of Houston and has spent a couple of years for a Dudu Brown Florida State team. But a veteran guard who's very capable, handles the ball well, passes well. He's got a high assist rate, scores the basketball. I mean, he's averaged like 13 to 14 his entire career, basically. At both Houston and Florida State. Averaged 13 his freshman year at Houston, 13 last year, and 13 this year at Florida State. So he's like a last year 13-5 guy. No, sorry, 13, 3.5, and 3. So 3.5 assists, 3 boards. But shoots fairly well from 3, shoots the free throws well. I think he's can be a capable defender, but probably if there's anything that he needs to work on, I would say it's probably on the defensive end and bringing it every time down the floor on that side. He's shown flashes of being able to get in passing lanes, get steals, but I don't know that he's necessarily bringing it all night long on that side of the floor.
Yeah, I like the addition of Mills. I'm not going to say I love it because I don't necessarily view him as a true point. This team still needs a point guard. It's kind of the way of college basketball, right? Everything runs through talented guards. Can he be your main ball carrier in I don't know, in emergency situations? Yes. Can he bring the ball up? Yes. I think you could do better. And I think at 6'5", like that's great size at the point. I don't know. Me personally, I think that there are other options that you can have at point guard, and Caleb, being your 2 guard or however you want to roll with it. I just think it's a better fit for him personally. It's just me.
Yeah, I'm kind of, I get it. I think he's capable of being your primary ball handler. You throw, I guess right now, the way that it's looking, it's going to be probably Caleb and Mikey out there as your two primary guards, right? I wouldn't hate getting people talk about a true point guard. What does that mean? But I kind of agree with you. I like the addition of Caleb. I would like it better if he was coming in and being that two, with potentially Mikey coming off the bench behind him in the two. And you have a more true veteran guy that's your primary ball handler, bringing the ball up the floor.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't have to necessarily be like a KD, a scoring one, but just somebody that facilitates the offense, right? But I do think Caleb's capable. I think he's played that role. He's been effective in it. He makes, he finds open teammates. He shows that with 3.5 assists.
Exactly.
So I don't hate it, but I'm kind of with you. I wouldn't be opposed to adding a true point guard to the roster by any means.
Yeah, I'm not going to be upset if we roll out something crazy. Caleb Mills, I'm just making something up. Caleb Mills, Jonathan, Lenard, Pierre, I guess at the 4, and then whatever at the 5. I'm assuming it's going to be Chandler as of now. I mean, that's all I got. Think of the size that you have there. It's incredible size. So whatever, I'm not going to complain. He does have the ability to pass the ball, right? I don't think anyone's doubting that. What was it? 3 assists a game?
Yeah,
almost 3.5 assists per game.
He's got a great assist rate. It's like 24% of his possessions end up with him making an assist.
Yeah, I mean, what are we talking about? That's perfectly fine. Me personally, TJ personally thinks that we could get a better point guard out there, and that Caleb would be a perfect 2 guy. That's just me.
I don't disagree with you. And the fact that we're still, what's the UCF guard's name that we have coming in, the young kid?
No one knows that guy. That guy is not really.
I know, but my point is,
we played him 3 times a year, and no one's ever heard of him.
My point is the fact that
Jalen Young, is that right? Something like that?
Yeah, Penny is bringing him in on a visit. I think he's coming next week. And obviously he would probably be in a backup role, but to me that is saying that he doesn't himself think that we're necessarily done at the guard spot, which is what I'll go to next. With these additions and where we stand, if we're looking at it, I will say let's say we've got 11 scholarships taken up right now with what we've got. So if you look at it, we'll say, and that's with me bringing Jaden and Chandler back, right? So there's your 2 fifth-year guys. I don't think Malcolm's coming back. I'm not going to throw him in there. Maybe he does. So maybe you end up and you've got 12 right now. But I'm going to go with no Malcolm. Keontae hit the portal, which I didn't really love. I wanted Keontae was a guy that I wanted back. Right. I feel like he's a good 5th-year guy, was productive this year until he broke his hand. So we'll go with Jaden, Chandler are your 2 5th-years coming back. You got Jonathan as the second Lawson and returning player. Then you add Mikey, JJ, Carl as freshman. I don't know about Tyler, so I'm not counting him because we've heard he's got academic issues. Then you got Jourdain, Mills, Pierre, and Lenard. That's 11 right there. Question mark is Forrest. We'll see. I think signing day is Wednesday, so we'll see if Tyler ends up signing. If he doesn't, I'm counting him out. But right now, I think that leaves what? You get 13. You got 2 open if you go with the 11 we just named. You said you need a point guard. And I'm going to say I wouldn't disagree with that. You got plenty of guys on the wing. To me, you need a big.
Sure.
I think that's the last minute. And I would be fine with a starting big and then maybe even one more as a backup big, to be honest. I think you got enough on the wing and at guard that you could be okay and just adding some more size on the inside. But would you go big in point guard at this point, since you said point guard earlier?
Yeah, I think the point guard is probably the most important position to add. Typically,
To
on
this
any
team or in general to any team?
to any team, as well as Chandler played last year, I think I would look at a big. I would prioritize
He's
a
not
big
a.
right now.
I don't. He's not a 5 to me.
He's not a 5. He's not a 5, but you can get away with that in college. DeAndre's not a 5, and we went the whole year with DeAndre at a 5.
Yeah,
And DeAndre at the 3 at sometimes, which was still wild. But you can get away with it in college, so that's fine.
you can get away with it, but that doesn't make it right.
Give me that dude from freaking USF.
Oh, you're
That
talking about
7-footer.
my boy Russ Shaway. Yeah,
Whatever.
He's got great size. What was he? He's like Russell
7 foot,
Shaway.
280.
Yeah, give me that dude all day long. And he was productive for them this year, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Averaged like 10 and 8 or 12 and 8 or something. Yeah, I would not hate to although you feel like we just sit here and we trade around in the American basketball players.
It does feel that way, but he was
Like,
also
what's
a Big
your
12
list?
player first, so
Yeah,
makes me
I
feel
get
better.
it. So yeah, averaged 11 and 9 basically. I would take that every 61% from the
Yeah.
field. Now, I'll say this. I watched a little bit. He does struggle turning the ball over. Great on the glass, great with putbacks, but just as far as like footwork in the post situation with his back to the basket, not ideal. I mean, it's either getting ripped because he's holding the ball down low, or he just, my man, straight up takes like 6 or 7 steps or spins around in a circle without putting the ball on the floor, and it's a turnover, like a third
I
of the
think
time.
I take that though. I'm okay with that because
I think I take it too, because I don't think you're gonna be using him in that way,
Exactly.
right? You're not gonna be feeding him down the post every single time down the floor.
Maybe sometimes, but
Occasionally.
not every time.
I'm just saying that's not going to be your go-to every time, right? Like if he turns it over once or twice a game because we fed it to him in the post and he took 3 or 4 steps, then so be it. If he gets 10 boards a night and just clears the paint out, I'm all for it. Let me ask you this, a name that's popped up and gone back in the portal who we are very familiar with. Would you be open to none other than Lausanne Hall of Famer Moussa Cisse returning?
I don't know if. I mean, the easy answer is yes. I mean,
Yeah,
I would you
100%.
But
talking about a Big 12
he needs a
defensive
waiver, I
player of
think.
the year. He's what?
I think he needs a waiver, and I don't want to get into another situation where we have to rely on the NCAA helping us out.
He looks bigger to me.
No, he's definitely bigger. I just don't want to get in that situation. But from a skill set, absolutely.
Yeah, but he's coming
gonna
home.
defend nonstop.
He's coming home. They're going to clear the waiver. Move him back home. It's clearing.
Trey, you know how these things work.
If only he was a grad transfer.
I will say this, in terms of dudes who have actually hit the portal, and shout out to, I think his name's Texas Tiger, is how that translates. Texas Tiger 95 from the Discord, who said this first. Side note, if you're not in the Discord, you should definitely be in the Discord. But he said it first. He was like, "Oh, watch Arteria Morris hit the portal," and I was like, "Why would he do that?"
And he did. But he's going to Ole Miss, isn't he?
Why? Why would you?
Because he's going with Beard.
If you're Chris Beard, I understand, but Chris Beard just fought to keep Matt Morrell. If you're keeping Matthew Morrell,
that's not what I thought that was going. You said Chris Beard fought, and I thought you were about to say his fiance, which is also factual.
I don't know.
You wouldn't take Arterio and Matthew together? That's a heck of a 1-2 punch.
I think I would, but like, how do you make that argument if they're two ball dominant guys for the most part? I mean, how do you
at the
make
1 and
that
Matthew at the 2? I just
I
don't.
think
I would do
it.
I would take it. If you gave me Russell, Sheway, and Arterio Morris, we're going to the Final Four. Right now, I'll put $1,000 on it. Whatever it is, I don't know what we're sitting at right now. I think we were like plus 5,000 the other day. I'll do it right now. You add those two dudes, called it Final Four.
I mean, I think that there's a good chance you are fighting with old Dusty for first team in the AAC.
Dusty's crusty, and his two guards just entered the freaking draft.
Maybe. If they come back, they're going to be the first team still.
Oh, crusty Dusty. Yeah,
we'll see.
I don't know.
So outside of Chiwe, is there anyone that stands out to you, center? Like an actual center. I'm not talking about just rolling out another dude who's not a center. We missed on Kalel Ware. I think we've known that. The writing's been on the wall for a while.
Yeah, I ended up at Indiana. I mean, I don't hate it, though. Like, that's not a guy that's been incredibly productive by any means, right?
Sure.
I mean, he's been floating out there, and he's an undersized center, but for college it works. I mean, if he hits the portal, it's a no-go.
Are you a member of the Sonogo train?
I'm just saying, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah,
and I would be all about it. Look, it makes sense. We got some Bahamas trips coming up. It's the way to get my man some NIL.
I don't know. He's connected to the staff, though, right? Did we confirm that?
Yes, Borman was his grassroots coach.
Would you rather have Sonogo or Trey from Auburn? I'm trying to think of another center that's out there that we've talked to. I know it sounds easy, but one guy you're not going to have for as long as you will the other guy.
Sonogo.
That's my logic.
Traore's so another guy that hasn't been productive. And I think you get Sonogo next year, you got a real shot at a Final Four. Just give me.
What if I told you
the outlet strip?
Adama Sonogo for 1 year or Trey for the 3 years? I cannot hear a word you are saying, my dog.
Well, we talked about earlier with the transfer portal, like, I don't know who else I'm going to have when we have Trey. So I don't think he's that good that just him alone. So it's like, if you could tell me who else was going to be here back with him in 2 years, I could maybe buy into it. But I'm talking
Mikey and JJ.
Will they though? I mean, they got a free transfer they could use. I don't know. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying in this day and age, that's more likely than them staying, probably.
Give me the center from Louisville, Roosevelt Wheeler. Who the hell's out there naming their kids Roosevelt anymore?
That's his first name?
First name is Roosevelt. Hell yeah.
Let's go.
Or Lars. That'd be a fun one to cheer for.
How big is old Roosevelt?
Of who? Roosevelt?
Yeah.
Ooh, let me pull it back up. For some reason, freaking 247 site's the worst.
I don't know that I want anybody from Louisville. I mean, they were maybe the most booty team that's ever existed, especially at the P5 level.
They were impressively bad.
6'11", he averaged 1.2 and 2 rebounds. No.
He didn't get the chance, It wasn't
0.1 assist. What is it? Does that mean he had one total assist on the entire season?
Hear me out.
He had 2 assists.
His name is Roosevelt, though. That's all that matters. The all-name team.
Get out of here. Anyway, my answer is Sonogo next year.
That's
not
fair.
Trey for the next 3.
That's fair.
What would you do?
I think I still take Sonogo.
Yeah. I don't see how you don't.
just-
I mean, the guy was just the MVP of the NCAA tournament.
I know.
Talk about a winner. He knows how to win.
Give me one of
Need
these
to get him
names I
signing
can't
all
pronounce.
kinds of merch down in the Bahamas.
Jaden Bediako. I'm just finding some goofy names now at this point.
All right, so we need a point guard and a big. And I'll say this. The sooner we can get our roster finalized, the absolute better.
Sure.
I think you got to get these guys in over the summer, define roles, get them hanging out, working out together, build the chemistry, and let's roll in next fall ready to rock and roll. I don't want any of these late additions late in the year.
Yeah.
Let's get everybody in here. If you guys are listening over there at the Laurie Walton Center, we know that you are. Let's get everybody in here by June 1. I don't know how the dates work out, but I would love it if everybody was ready to rock and on. The roster was finalized June 1. Start the summer off right.
Yeah, I think they struggled with the late ad last year with Mars getting him in there. So I'm kind of against that, but what are you going to do?
And I guess you never know, right? You had the whole Emmanuel Acott thing happen. You could have somebody that's currently on the roster that ends up finding a better situation. So that's how it goes with the portal. It's an always revolving door, that portal. Never closes. All right, really quickly, for those of you that are familiar with Bart Torvik or T-Rank, looking at our roster prediction for next year, if you had to guess, TJ, this does not include Lenard at the moment, and it will not let me add him for some reason. It is acting up. But given everybody else on the roster minus Lenard, where do you think we are currently ranked?
Um, 54th.
That is not a bad guess at all. 43rd.
Okay. I was kind of being pessimistic, but yeah.
We're right there. I think Lenard probably brings you up to 30-ish, maybe. Maybe a little top 30, I'd say.
I say adding Lenard, what were we? 43rd? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
37, maybe. I don't think they'll move you that much.
You'll be in the 30s, and then you add a big and maybe a point guard, and you're a top 25 team. Ready to roll into next year.
This may go without saying. We move on from Amsel, right? Mustafa Amsel.
I mean,
I can't
think
afford
if
to take another.
Yeah, well, I mean, unless you're taking him and dropping Jourdain.
Yeah.
Which is, I mean, that could be a possibility, probably.
First of all, why is Jaden on scholarship? That just seems like a cheat code to have your own son and you just not put him on scholarship. You get an extra scholarship player. Like, what are we talking about?
I don't know. I don't know. I can't answer that question. He deserves to be on scholarship, I'm sure, is maybe the thinking. I don't know. I don't know what else to tell you. I know where you're coming from. I agree with you. But
do you know anything about
I'm not the one determining Schollies.
Ugana Onyenso from Kentucky. You know anything about this guy?
I do not.
He's a 6'11", 225. I guess technically he'll be a sophomore center. We did recruit him out of high school. I remember that, but he's in the portal. I could see Penny being interested in that guy. And his name is Ugana.
We may not even, the guy that we end up with at the 5 may not even be in the portal yet, for all we know.
It's wild how that always works out.
All right. The only other thing, Tej, that's happened, Frank Haith is officially out of here, which I hated. I loved having Frank on staff. Wish we could have gotten another year with him, but he's headed down to Texas.
Sure.
What do you do with that? Does Penny find another ex-head coach to fill in right there?
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
I mean, I don't know where we're headed. I haven't heard anything, but definitely something to keep an eye out on is that third assistant spot and who ends up filling it in.
Hey, one name. Josh Pastner.
What? Posh Jasner?
Joshua Pastner.
I will say we heard rumors of that weeks ago when he was first laid off from the Georgia Tech men's basketball program. But I don't think it would work. I think there's a little bit of smoke of him joining the Kentucky staff now.
Yeah, I don't think it would actually work.
Cal's calling him home.
I think Penny likes surrounding himself with guys he's comfortable with and guys he's familiar with.
And guys he trusts.
I can't say that guys he trusts. I can't say he's that way with Josh. I think that would be kind of wild. But
I just can't.
I don't know. He hired Borman. I don't know of any prior relations with Borman.
Can you imagine Penny and Josh hanging out?
No. Completely different. Swagger and non-swagger. Josh looks like he wears Velcro shoes.
Swagger
and Penny obviously has his own shoe line.
Goober. Maybe Penny would hook him up with some Velcro foam posits. They make them.
What? For kids, maybe?
For babies.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Were those baby foams that, Jonathan, if you're listening, comment. Were J-Dub's foam posits Velcro? I think they had shoelaces. Never mind.
Fake news, man.
Be a custom Velcro edition for Josh.
I don't know. It's a good question. I'm trying to think of another coach.
No, they weren't Velcroed. Here's the.
Can't see that. Oh, yeah.
Shoestringed.
Okay.
I don't know. It'll be interesting to see who ends up being. But a head coaching vacancy on the women's side was filled with former Tennessee Volunteer two-time national champion Alex Simmons, former head coach of Gardner Webb. Seems to be a pretty good hire. She set multiple program records. School record of 29 victories, a 21-game win streak, a perfect 18-0 in conference play. So they were the regular season and tournament champions for the Big South, and took the Runnin' Bulldogs to their first tournament since 2010. So it seems like a pretty good hire to me. I mean, you hated to see Katrina leave, but you understand it. She played for Cincinnati, so going back to her alma mater. But don't hate by any means this hire with Alex Simmons. So looking forward to what she's able to do over there in the El Marone Fieldhouse.
Yeah, I mean, it's a proven winner. I think that's probably the smartest route to go from this point out. I mean, that's what you did with Katrina, and you notice immediate success. So you just find another proven winner, and hopefully – it sounds terrible, but you kind of want the Memphis women's basketball team to just kind of become a stepping stone job for the most part, right? I think you're okay with that.
I mean, yeah, if your coaches are getting hired away, that just means good things are happening.
Yeah, you're just winning. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not so. It's perhaps not like a long running thing. Like you're probably not going to be able to do it forever, but I don't know. Depending on what you're looking for, I think you can get a couple good years out of this between Katrina and Alex. I think you could have a pretty good women's program for the next couple of years.
I mean, they're headed in the right direction. So it'll be good to see what Alex is able to do and build on what Katrina had kind of laid as the foundation over there. All right, not a ton of we're in the midst of spring practice, but not a ton of news. We do have Friday night stripes under the lights a week from Friday, so April 21st, 7 p.m. at Simmons Bank. Looking forward to that. We will have a full recap of the spring game. Other than that, Tej, we'll keep an eye on the portal. We got a couple of scholarships we think left to fill. We got a coaching assistant spot left to fill. You got anything else?
I don't think so. I was still trying to rack my brain around somebody Penny Trust that's in the someone I think could be a potential hire, but I'll just put it in the Discord because once I'm trying to think of
who's an American head coach that we beat this year that got fired.
The USF guy.
Yeah, Ryan Gregory.
Yeah,
there you go. No, that wasn't his name.
Is that not him?
No, who was the dude's name? Was that it?
Sure. You sure that wasn't him?
I don't know. That didn't look right. Yeah, it was Brian Gregory.
Yeah.
Maybe he's the next guy.
I don't know. I think Penny sticks with the circle.
It's not a big one.
I guess.
It's not a big circle.
Not a big one. Not a big circle.
All right, let's Moon Biscuits it. This is a wild can, Tej.
It is a wild can. I'm not gonna lie.
A lot of artwork went into this one.
I'm gonna need you to hear me out on one of these because I like the can. I think there's a lot of good colors going on, but there's one thing that caught my eye, and that's this guy. You see this guy?
You know I see him. Is that Prince Mongo?
No, I think I could be wrong. Is this Ray Bradbury?
Oh, I know
Fahrenheit 451 guy.
Yeah,
I
don't think that's
Martian Chronicles. Martian Chronicles. I think that's right.
I don't think Ray didn't have a beard. This dude, that's a beard, right? And those squiggles in the can.
I think he had a beard. I don't know. Maybe it's my mind just making that up because it's called Moon Biscuit, Space, Martian Chronicles. I don't know. I don't know. It's a cool can. A lot going on here. I'm sure if you were someone who
doesn't have a beard either.
If you were someone who participates in illegal activities, you could probably look at this can and get feeling some type of way.
It's definitely a trippy can.
A lot going on there. I wish it glowed in the dark. I kind of want to turn off the lights in the middle of this.
Did you try it?
It'll ruin the video. No, because A, the switches across the room.
And I thought if anything, I thought the moon would glow. But it didn't.
That's what I'm trying to do right now. No, it doesn't glow in the dark. They should think about that though.
Yeah. Hey, if you got the marketing team over there at Wiseacres listening, a glow in the dark edition of Moon Biscuits would be sick.
It's good. It's a good can. I like that. I'm gonna say I'm thinking like an 8.4. I really like this can.
I do too. I'm looking to see if there's anything Memphis related in the artwork. I don't see anything. If there was, I would have made this very, very high.
It could be this guy, whoever that is.
I know. That's what I'm saying, but we don't know for sure.
I'm gonna email him and ask.
What'd you say, 8.4? That seems a little bit high. I'm gonna go like 7.9. It is a good can though. If these little like whitish parts glue in the dark.
Did you say 7.9?
Yeah. If this can glowed in the dark, it would be like a 9 something. The beer's very good though. This amber ale, if this was 90s and these are not in style anymore, it's a great beer.
Yeah, I would actually, and I don't like doing this. It's very rare. Actually, I think it's happened like twice, perhaps thrice. I'm going to say the beer matches the can rating. I think it's another 8.4.
Once, twice, thrice. You just straight up went 8-4 on both like that?
I think so, yeah. I really like it. I could definitely drink multiple of these.
Oh, yeah.
It does have a little of that,
It's not
what's the word I'm looking
it's
for?
not heavy,
Malt.
though.
It does have a little bit of malty. It's not a lot, though,
Yeah.
but I'm gonna say 8-4. I really liked it, surprisingly.
It's a honey malt, which I
Okay.
think makes the maltiness better.
Nice.
I agree. This is a very good brew. I don't know that I want to put it at 8-4, but I'm right there with you at like an 8-2.
Respect that.
Could definitely
Two.
have multiple biscuits.
Takes it to an 8.2 on average. That's a pretty good beer. One we would recommend right here, Moon Biscuits.
Go get you a 6er of Moon Biscuits. Ted Lasso
gonna be
style,
honest.
those biscuits he makes.
Oh yeah. I can't tell you the last time I bought a 6-pack straight of one type of beer.
I can. It was
break it
last
up.
week or whenever we did Poppy's Pills because they only sold a 6-pack of it, so I bought a 6-pack.
Yeah, I mean, from John's wedding, I probably have like 10 Tiny Bombs in my fridge, but that's just because I really like Tiny Bomb. But I didn't buy that. You know, every time I go,
You're a big build your own guy.
yeah, I like that variance that you can get out of that.
Yeah, I think build your own is probably the way to go, unless you're just like picking up for a tailgate of the lake or something. Then you just grab a pack of whatever.
I don't know. It's still 6. I'd still create my own every time. Built different like that.
That is, you are built different if you're doing that. All right, Teej, that'll wrap us up. We'll be back next week. Who knows? The portal's still active. We may have 2 more commits. We may have a new coach in the assistant role. And hopefully we have a little bit of football updates. I don't know.
It'd be nice.
But that'll wrap it up for episode 21. Our Tigers Untapped is officially drinking age. Happy 21st, Teej.
Wow. 1. 12.
That's backwards. Come with the cold beer, stay for the hot takes. Peace.
There we go.
If you enjoyed this episode of Tigers Untapped, please leave a like and a comment wherever you download your podcasts. Head over to bluffcitynil.com for comprehensive coverage of Memphis Tiger athletics. We will see you back here next week.